Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reading Mythology with Daniel, or I should say, Continuing Mythology with Daniel. We're going to kind of pick up where we left off last time about Orpheus and I have to look up the name. Hang on. Eurydice. I'm just going to go with that. I don't know. That's what people are saying, so I'm just going to go with that. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the words. I'm as American as they come, so, I don't know. Anyway, so I hope everybody's doing well. I hope people are staying safe during the storm. It's gross out there, and we don't want to freeze to death. So let's make sure we maintain and make sure we keep each other safe. Last time we were together, we were talking about how they went on, from what I remember, it was, they were, let's go back. Oh, we're talking about sirens and, okay, cool. They were going on a trip, had the sirens, and snatched up his lyre because Orpheus could play better than everybody. The name was akin to the gods. So kind of we're picking up where we left off last time about it, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So I'm going to back up a little bit and go forward like I normally do, and then we'll go from there. Cool. So Orpheus snatched up his lyre and played a tune so clear and ringing that it drowned the sound of those lovely fatal voices. And now the fatal voices, we're talking about the sirens, because I guess in mythology, the sirens were the people that would the mystical beings that would lead sailors to their death, and it's kind of like mermaids, I guess, are one and the same, because it would be the same, right? Because mermaids do the same. Anyway, the ship was put back on her course, and the wind sped her away from the dangerous place. If Orpheus had not been there, the Argonauts, too, would have left their bones on the Sirens' Island, where he first met and how he wooed the maiden he loved, Eurydice. Eurydice? Let's hear it one more time. Eurydice?
A Eurydice story.
Eurydice. Wow. Did it again. Eurydice. We're not told, but it is clear that no maiden he wanted could have resisted the power of his song. They were married, but their joy was brief. Directly after the wedding, as the bride walked in a meadow with her bridesmaids, a viper stung her, and she died. What? We're happy, we're getting married, and dead. Orpheus's grief was overwhelming. Of course it was. He just lost his wife, brand new wife. He could not endure it. He determined to go down to the world of death and to try to bring Eurydice back. He said to himself, "With my song I will charm Demeter's daughter. I will charm the lord of the dead, moving their hearts with my melody. I will bear her away from Hades." He dared more than any other man had ever dared for his love. He took the fearsome journey to the underworld. There he struck his lyre. At the sound, all that vast multitude were charmed into stillness. The dog Cerberus relaxed his guard. The wheel of... I don't even know that. It's Ixion. I would have completely have ruined that. Okay. The wheel of Ixion stood motionless. Sisyphus sat at rest upon his stone. Tantalus forgot his thirst. For the first time, the faces of the dread goddess, the Furies, were wet with tears. The ruler of Hades drew near to listen with his queen. Orpheus sang, "O gods who rule the dark and silent world, to all born of a woman needs must come. All lovely things at last go down to you. You are the debtor who is always paid. A little while we tarry up on earth, then we are yours forever and forever. But I seek one who came to you too soon. The bud was plucked before the flower bloomed. I tried to bear my loss. I could not bear it. Love was too strong a god. O king, you know that if that old tale men tell is true, how once the flower saw the rape of Persephone, then weave again for sweet Eurydice? Yep. Life's pattern that was taken away from the loom too quickly. See? I ask a little thing, only that you will lend, not give her to me. She shall be yours when her year's span is full. I mean, I get it. He wanted to go down and get his bride back. He missed her awful bad. I mean, who wouldn't want to get their loved one back? No one under the spell of his voice could refuse him anything. He drew iron tears down from Pluto's cheek and made hell grant what love did seek. They summoned her and gave her to him, but upon one condition, that he would not look back at her as she followed him, until they had reached the upper world. So the two passed through the great doors of Hades to the path which would take them out of the darkness, climbing up and up. He knew that she must be behind him, but he longed unutterably to give one glance to make sure. But now they were almost there. The blackness was turning gray. Now that he had stepped out joyfully into the daylight, he turned to her. It was too soon. She was still in the cavern. He saw her in the dim light, and he held out his arms to clasp her, but on the instant she was gone. She had slipped back into the darkness. All he heard was one faint word, farewell. Desperately he tried to rush after her and follow her down, but he was not allowed. The gods would not consent to him entering the world of the dead a second time while he was still alive. He was forced to return to the earth alone and utter desolation. Then he forsook the company of men. He wandered through the wild of solitudes of Thrace, comfortless except for his lyre, playing, always playing, and the rocks and the rivers and the trees heard him gladly, his only companions. But at last a band of Maenads came upon him. They were as frenzied as those who killed Pentheus so horribly. They slew the gentle gentleman, tearing him limb from limb, and flung the severed head into the swift river Herebus. It was borne along past the river's mouth onto the Lesbian shore. Interesting. Nor had it suffered any change from the sea when the Muses found it and buried it in the sanctuary of the island. His limbs they gathered and placed in a tomb at the foot of Mount Olympus, and there to this day the nightingales sing more sweetly than everywhere else. So I guess he got what he wanted in the end anyway. He got to see his love again, hopefully, because he couldn't do it. They told him he got greedy and he looked too soon. He should have waited, and his life may have turned out to be different. It's unfortunate. All right. So, next story is Ceyx and Alcyone. Ovid is the best source for the story. The exaggeration of the storm is typically Roman. Sleep's abode, with its charming details, shows Ovid's power of description. The names of the gods, of course, are Latin. Ceyx, a king in Thessaly, was the son of Lucifer, the light bearer, the star that brings in the day, and all his father's bright gladness was in his face. His wife, Alcyone, was also of high descent. She was a daughter of the king of the winds. The two loved each other devotedly and were never willingly apart. Nevertheless, a time came when he decided he must leave her and make a long journey across the sea. Why didn't he just take her with him? I imagine this is not going to end up well. Various matters had happened to disturb him, and he wished to consult the oracle, men's refuge in trouble. When Alcyone learned that he was planning, she was overwhelmed with grief and terror. She told him with streaming tears and in a voice broken with sobs that she knew as few others could the power of the winds upon the sea. In her father's palace, she had watched them from her childhood, their stormy meetings, the black clouds that summoned, and the wild red lightning. In many a time upon the beach, she said, I have seen the broken planks of ships tossed up. Oh, do not go! But if I cannot persuade you, at least take me with you. I can endure whatever comes to us together. He was deeply moved, for she loved him no better than he loved her, but his purpose held fast. He felt that he must get counsel from the oracle, and he would not hear of her sharing the perils of his voyage. She had to yield and let him go alone. Okay, just pausing for a second. The way I see it is this: they're both adults, and adults can make their own decisions. And if she wanted to go, if he told her, if she knew the perils and she still wanted to go, then take her with him. This is a choice that he's making and she's making. But he's like, no. You don't get to make this choice. I'm going, you're staying. Her heart was so heavy when she bade him farewell, as if she foresaw what was to come. She waited on the shore, watching the ship until it sailed out of sight. Now what is she going to do? She's going to worry night and day, every day, until either A, she passes, or he comes back. That very night, a fierce storm broke over the sea. The winds all met in a mad hurricane, and the waves rose up mountain high. Rain fell in such sheets that the whole heaven seemed falling into the sea, and the sea seemed leaping up into the sky. The men on the quivering, battered boat were mad with terror, all except for one who thought of only his wife and rejoiced that she was in safety. Her name was on his lips when the ship sank and the waters closed over him. Alcyone was counting off the days. She kept herself busy, weaving a robe for him against his return and another for herself to be lovely when he first saw her. And many times each day she prayed to the gods for him, to Juno most of all. The goddess was touched by those prayers for one who had long been dead. She summoned her messenger Iris and ordered her to go to the house of Somnus, god of sleep, and bid him send a dream to Alcyone to tell her the truth about her husband. The abode of sleep is near the back country of the Cinnamorans. In a deep valley, do they make cinnamon there? I wonder if they make cinnamon there. In a deep valley where the sun never shines and dusky twilight wraps all things in shadows. No cock crows there, no watchdog breaks the silence, no branches rustle in the breeze, no clamor of tongues disturbs the peace. The only sound comes from gentle flowing stream of Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, where the waters murmuring entice to sleep. Before the door poppies bloom, and other drowsy herbs. Within the god of slumber lies upon a couch, downy soft and black of hue. Then came Iris in her cloak of many colors, trailing across the sky in a rainbow curve, and a dark house that was lit up with the shining of her garments. Even so, it was hard for her to make the god open his heavy eyes and understand what he was required to do. As soon as he was sure he was really awake and her errand done, Iris sped away, fearful that she too might sink forever into slumber. That sounds like a terrible, terrible life, just sleeping all the time. The god of sleep. That's fantastic. Just all day, every day, just sleeping. The old god of sleep aroused his son Morpheus, skilled in assuming the form of any and every human being. He gave him Juno's orders. On noiseless wings, Morpheus flew through the darkness and stood by Alcyone's bed. He had taken on the face and form of her husband, drowned. Naked and dripping wet, he bent over her couch. "Poor wife," he said, "look, your husband is here. Do you know me, or is this face changed in death? Am I dead, Alcyone? Your name was on my lips when the waters overwhelmed me. There is no hope for me anymore, but give me your tears. Let me not go down to the shadowy land unwept." In her sleep, Alcyone moaned and stretched her arms out to clasp him. She cried aloud, "Wait for me, I will go with you." And her cry awakened her. She woke to the conviction that her husband was dead, that what she had seen was no dream, but himself. "I saw him on the very spot," she told herself. "So piteous he looked. He is dead, and soon I shall die. Could I stay here when his dear body is tossed about in the waves? I will not leave you, my husband. I will not try to live." With the first daylight, she went to the shore, to the headland where she had stood to watch him sail away. As she gazed seaward, far off in the water, she saw something floating. The tide was setting in, and the thing came nearer and nearer until she knew it was a dead body. That fantastic. This story is great. She watched it with pity and horror in her heart as it drifted slowly towards her. And now it was close to the headland, almost beside her. It was he, her husband. She ran and leaped into the water, crying, "Husband, dearest!" And then, oh wonder, instead of sinking into the waves, she was flying over them. She had wings. Her body was covered with feathers. She had been changed into a bird. The gods were kind. They did the same to her husband. As she flew to the body, it was gone, and he changed into a bird like herself, joined her. But their love was unchanged. They are always seen together, flying or riding the waves. Every year, there are 7 days on end when the sea lies still and calm. No breath of wind stirs the waters. These are the days when Alcyone broods over her nest floating on the sea. After the young birds are hatched, the charm is broken. But each winter, these days are perfect peace come, and they are all called after her, Alcyone, or more commonly, Halcyone days. While birds of calm sit brooding on the charmed wave. That kind of worked out, I guess. He should have taken, I think that as you go along and you make the decisions in your day, then your day automatically changes. So what if he did take his wife, and what if it did work out, that there was no storm? Because he probably would have been behind because she needed to pack her stuff. So he would have been behind the storm instead of in the storm. Who knows? But now they're together forever, and it worked out after all. But hopefully all of these, it seems like all these have like a positive meaning, like a happily ever after kind of thing. I think I'm going to stop there for today. It's no point in getting to another one because I only got a little bit of time left with you guys. I appreciate you coming to see me. I hope the stories were good. And I hope everybody comes to see me tomorrow. Thank you again. Hope you have a good day. See you next time.